Let's now go across to the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who's speaking at the 16th
Excellent organization of the 16th BRICS Summit. And once again, a warm welcome to all our new friends who have joined BRICS. In its new expanded formation, BRICS accounts for 40% of the world's humanity and about 30% of the global economy. In the last nearly 2 decades, BRICS has achieved many milestones. I'm confident that in the times to come, this organization will emerge as a more effective medium to face global challenges. Friends, I would also like to convey warm greetings to Her Excellency Dilma Rousseff, President of the New Development Bank. In the last 10 years, this bank has emerged as an important option for the development needs of the countries of the global south. With the opening of GIFT, or Gujarat International Finance Tech City in India, as well as regional centers in Africa and Russia, have boosted the activities of this bank. And development projects worth about $35 billion have been sanctioned. NDB indeed should continue to work on the basis of the demand-driven principle. And while expanding the bank, ensuring long-term financial sustainability, healthy credit rating, and market access should remain a priority. Friends, in its new expanded format, BRICS has emerged as an economy of more than $30 trillion. The BRICS Business Council and the BRICS Women Business Alliance have played a special role in increasing our economic cooperation. This year, the consensus reached within BRICS on WTO reforms, trade facilitation in agriculture, resilient supply chains, e-commerce, and special economic zones will strengthen our economic cooperation. Amidst all these initiatives, we should also focus on the interests of small and medium-scale industries. I'm pleased that the BRICS Startup Forum proposed during India's presidency in 2021 will be launched this year. The Railway and Research Network initiative taken by India is also playing an important role in increasing logistics and supply chain connectivity among BRICS countries. This year, the consensus reached by BRICS countries in collaboration with UNIDO to prepare a skilled workforce for Industry 4.0 is quite significant. The BRICS Vaccine R&D Center, launched in 2022, is helping increase health security in all the countries. We would be happy to share India's successful experience in digital health with BRICS partners. Friends, climate change has been a subject of our common priority. We welcome the consensus reached for the BRICS Open Carbon Market Partnership under Russia's presidency. In India, too, special emphasis is being laid on green growth, climate-resilient infrastructure, and green transition. Indeed, India has taken up several initiatives like the International Solar Alliance, Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, Mission Life, that is Lifestyle for Environment, Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam, or a tree in the name of your mother. Last year, during COP28, we started an important initiative called Green Credit. I invite BRICS partners to join these initiatives. Special emphasis is being laid on the construction of infrastructure in all BRICS countries. In India, we have established a digital platform called the Gati Shakti portal to rapidly expand multimodal connectivity. This has helped in integrated infrastructure development, planning and implementation, and has reduced logistic costs. We'll be happy to share our experiences with all of you. Friends, we welcome efforts to increase financial integration among BRICS countries. Trade in local currencies and smooth cross-border payments will strengthen our economic cooperation. The Unified Payments Interface, UPI, developed by India is a huge success story, and it has been adopted in many countries. Last year, together with His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, it was also launched in the UAE. We are also willing to cooperate with other BRICS countries in this area. Friends, India is fully committed to increasing cooperation under BRICS. Our strong belief in our diversity and multipolarity is our strength. And this strength of ours and our shared belief in humanity will help in giving a meaningful shape to a prosperous and a bright future for the generations to come. I thank everyone for today's very important and valuable discussions. As the next president of BRICS, I extend my heartfelt best wishes to President Lula. India will give its full support for the success of your BRICS presidency. Once again, many thanks to President Putin and all the leaders.
Thank you very much, distinguished Prime Minister. We all talk about the need to ensure high rates of economic growth, and you managed to do that. We congratulate you on these results. 7.5% of GDP growth is an example for many of us, and I thank you for your initiatives. Thank you. And now, please, I give the floor to the President of Iran.
All right, before that, that was the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressing the 16th BRICS Summit, where the Prime Minister emphasized on how the BRICS group represents about 40% of the humanity and hence will emerge as a major pillar in the future. He then went on to highlight the importance of the global south and how important it is also to address the issues of the region for the region to thrive as well as the world to thrive. The Indian Prime Minister also recalled the key agreements during the group summit in New Delhi, during which 2 initiative startups and railways will begin in full swing from this year. And as expected, climate change, terrorism, global currency and trade took prominence during Modi's remarks. And to get us the latest, our correspondent Siddhant Sibul is joining us on this broadcast. Siddhant, what is the latest you have for us?
We just heard the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressing the BRICS leader in the expanded format. He talked about several issues. Now, let me tell you that this is his second address of the day at the BRICS meetings. He earlier had addressed the restricted plenary. But talking about the overall sense of his comments, first he called for trading in national currencies. Now, this is a big message by the Indian Prime Minister, not only to the BRICS leaders, but also to the world at large. India has been in conversation with almost 20 to 30 countries for trading in national currencies, including many countries in its neighborhood. And focus, of course, is to make sure that rupee is used internationally. The second, of course, the big story was the Prime Minister's comments on terrorism. Now, the Indian Prime Minister mentioned about that there should not be double standards on terrorism. That's a clear message to China. Of course, we know that when it comes to listing of a Pakistani terrorist at the United Nations Security Council, China has been a major blocker, and of course that is something that India has been highlighting. The other key focus area of the Indian Prime Minister was the reforms of the United Nations Security Council. He gave examples of how essentially India had made sure that under its presidency, African Union became a member. So that is an indication that why not this organization, which is almost 70 years old, hasn't reformed, and why it has not included many countries, including, of course, India. India is the most populated country on the planet. It is the fifth largest economy, but it's not present at the high table, and we know the resistance comes from where. All in all, this is a straight talk by the Indian Prime Minister on several issues, including, of course, conflicts across the world. He made the famous line that dialogue and diplomacy, of course, is the only way forward when it comes to resolving global conflicts, and that is a message when it comes to the ongoing war in Ukraine. Clearly a packed day here in Kazan, not only in terms of the multilateral context, the comments by the Indian Prime Minister, but also very soon in the bilateral aspect as well. The Indian Prime Minister set to meet the Chinese President, and that is something that will be also closely watched and awaited.
Absolutely, Siddhant. And just to tell our viewers, currently the Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian is addressing the 16th BRICS Summit, and we will be tracking all those developments very closely. Siddhant, before I let you go, I would want to go back to a point you made earlier about China. We know that the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is sitting down with the Chinese President Xi Jinping, and this will be the first meeting since the 2020 Galwan clash. Could you elaborate a little about that?
Well, many have been saying it's the Kazan thaw, it's the Kazan breakthrough here in Russia, and this is something that did not happen overnight. This was something that was part of conversation for some time now. We know that the External Affairs Minister has been talking to his counterpart, the Indian NSA, which is who is in fact seen instrumental, also met with the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in St. Petersburg on the sidelines of the BRICS NSA's meeting, and essentially the big breakthrough came earlier this week when in the wee hours we saw a pact being signed on the patrolling. More details are yet to be given in terms of what it entails for India and China in terms of the border rights. What we know is that the situation goes back to the pre-2020 level, and 2020 is a year that both India and China aren't going to forget. The Galwan incident, in which India lost 20 of its soldiers, is something that had shaken India, and since then India had, of course, increased scrutiny on Chinese investments, Chinese visas as well, and of course banning Chinese apps. It looks like that now there can be some resolution on that front, because the Indian businesses for some time have been calling on for relaxation when it comes to visa regime for Chinese that helps their businesses. Of course, it's a good news for Beijing as well, which has not been doing very good economically. It has been facing the wrath of the Europeans in terms of the EV issue. So it's a win-win. It is seen between Beijing and New Delhi. What happens today here in Kazan will have reverberations not only in the region, in the Asian region, in the Indo-Pacific region, but also in the world. It will be closely watched in Washington, London, and of course in Canberra as well.
All right, Siddhant, Assistant Editor for Foreign Affairs, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast and getting us those updates. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.